Hello, my name is Neal Cole from Conversion Uplift. Today I'm going to show you how to use AI tools to speed up the process of auditing attribution data in GA4. So normally when we're auditing GA4, we'd go to the traffic acquisition report and have a look at the data on attribution. So is there a custom channel group set up? But we'd also want to drill down into more detail to review the effectiveness of campaign management and particularly the use of UTM parameters. So if we go to traffic source and we add session source medium, we can instantly break the data down into much more granularity and start to review how well attribution is working. So we've gone from like 18 rows to 193 rows already. But with some of our clients, they spend money on multiple advertising platforms from Google, Facebook, Meta, TikTok, and so forth. And they also do a lot of email campaigns and may also spend money on other platforms, other marketing activities. So you can literally end up with hundreds of rows of data to review. So to speed up the process, we can use AI to quickly audit the data and identify problems with the attribution and particularly UTM parameter usage. Now to get more detail, we could go to an explore report such as this one, where we also add, I'll just go to that report. So which is did one earlier. So there's a report here which has also got the campaign data. It's the campaign name in this instance. But we could also add other parameters such as campaign ID if that's used, just to give us a full comprehensive view of how attribution is working or not. So what we'd then do is download the data into a CSV in our instance, and then we'd open it up and save it as an Excel spreadsheet because we're using Microsoft, and tidy it up. So I've got one here that I downloaded earlier. I'd remove any rows that aren't needed just to help the AI tool process the data more easily. So you might want to remove things like company name and so forth. So as we see here now, we have a lot of data, and normally it would take quite a bit of time to go through and check every row. So what we could do now is, using AI tool of choice, which is, in this case is ChatGPT, we can upload the data and then we need to give it a prompt. Now we've developed a fairly straightforward prompt here which asks it to evaluate traffic acquisition data from Google Analytics 4, so it's giving some context, list inconsistent or suboptimal use of UTM parameters such as uppercase and not using standard naming conventions that Google does not recognize, identify how changes in the use of UTM parameters could be deployed to provide more consistent channel groups to help marketing people set up UTM parameters for campaigns using best practice naming conventions. Also suggest how to break up generic default channel groups into custom channel groups in the GA4 console, because it could be they don't have a custom channel group set up. So we'll just paste that prompt in and then fire away. Now it can take a few seconds or a minute or two for it to process all the data, depending on how many rows it's got. So I've got one that we did earlier. And it follows our prompt by saying, okay, below is a straight talking geo-focused evaluation based on the traffic acquisition you shared So it talks about case sensitivity. It talks about non-standard medium values. So there's examples here. It's got paid when it should be CPC, or social paid when it should be paid_social. It should be, they've got email_campaign rather than email, and display_ads instead of display. So there's lots of poor use of UTM naming conventions, and it's got some bad examples and some good examples here. It's talking about overload of or meaningless campaign names, so that's something to also look out. And then it gives you details of how to fix with a UTM framework marketers can follow. So it's telling them, explaining how to use UTMs here, and this can be a common problem. Marketers aren't always trained on use of UTM parameters, and there also is a tendency for people to follow the existing conventions, assuming essentially that the existing conventions in their campaigns are correct, which they're often not. And so it's good to actually review the whole use of UTM parameters and provide the client with some concrete examples how to use UTM parameters more effectively. So I hope you found this useful. I'd certainly say it's good to probably review the content of your AI and clean it up a bit. Maybe just ask some further questions if you've got any questions about anything you don't understand. And you could also ask the AI tool to maybe create a PDF version that you could share with your client. I hope you found that useful. Thank you again.